In this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating the installation and the usage of the Fetch API to alter the Mongo database social network API that I have constructed. You're going to start off by cloning the repository into your working directory and navigating into it. Once you've navigated into the directory of the repository, run the command npm install to install the packages listed in the package.json file. If the installation was successful, go ahead and run the command npm start to start the server. If you do not have MongoDB installed on your computer, Mongoose will not be able to make a connection with MongoDB, so you're going to need to install that before this begins. And if you have already installed it, it should just automatically connect with Mongoose. Next, now that we have the server running, I'm going to show a demonstration of the API routes. Now, with a fresh database, I'm going to make the API request to show the functionality of creating a new user, adding a thought to the user's thought array, adding a reaction to a user's thought, adding a friend to a user's profile, and deleting a friend, a reaction to a thought, and the thoughts. We feed in unstructured JSON data and make a post request to API users, and the database returns that we have created a new user. I'm going to take the user's ID and create a thought using that user's ID. Now, our user, Marcus, has a new thought. I'm going to post a reaction to that thought by grabbing the ID of the thought, putting it into the parameters up here, and here's our reaction body. And now we can see that the thought has a reaction, which is like a comment. Now I'm going to delete this reaction and then delete the thought. So first I'm going to grab the ID of the reaction. And I also need to grab the ID of the thought. And this first parameter is the thought ID and the second is the reaction ID. If you're confused about what you need to input, refer to the Mongoose schema in the code. So now you can see that the reaction has been deleted from the thought's reaction array and the reaction count has returned back to 0. Next we're going to delete the thought associated. I believe I have that copied right now. And now we've deleted the thoughts. So if we go and get API thoughts again, we'll see that we have an empty array returned. Now we want to add a friend to a user. In order to do that, I'm quickly going to need to make another user. We have Marcus friend already created, so I'm just going to create Marcus. Alright, now we have two users, Marcus and Marcus friend. We want to add, using a post request, this is the user ID first, /friends, / and then the ID of the person you're going to be adding or the friend ID. Cool, now if we get users, we can see that Marcus has that friend of Marcus friend. And in order for it to apply to Marcus friend, he is going to need to add Marcus to his friends list as well. Now we'll delete that friend using a delete request with the same exact parameters and URL. And now you can see that Marcus friend is no longer Marcus's friend. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you have any questions, please reach out to me via email. It's mikegami.github@gmail.com.